Hi, this is Avian with Kiwibox.com. We're here with Raphael Saadiq. We're going to talk to him a little bit about his forthcoming album, The Way I See It. Your forthcoming album, The Way I See It, captures a vintage soul kind of feel. What do you find so particularly alluring about vintage soul?
This record, I just call it like my downtown sound. It's just the combinations of things I put together through the span of my career, and I don't look at it as vintage soul, even though it is. I just look at it like music that the soundtrack of my life. You know, it's basically this music is the soundtrack of my life, and I finally got a chance to put it all together.
You capture the sound so well. What kind of studio and production tricks do you use to capture this sound?
Dreams and a bunch of good hope and risk, and a lot of P-basses, you know, just a lot of collecting visuals in your mind and that type of thing.
The album took you a while to record. What took you so long to record it?
Well, I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and you know, where would I end up. You know, ended up on Columbia. It's basically that. I was always working. Music is my hobby, so I'm doing it in my off time, even if I don't have a record coming out. I'm just always working on some type of music.
You play a lot of your own instruments on the album. Is that part of the reason of what took you so long?
I guess it could have came together a little faster if I would use a lot of different like studio musicians, but I think it takes just as long to call those people, you know, and to organize the times. And sometimes when you're rolling, you just kind of want to just keep rolling, you know, just until you get tired. You know, it's like running. You know, your brain tells you to stop, but your legs can keep going. So
You gotta feel it.
I feel it, exactly.
You actually have Stevie Wonder on one of your tracks. That is so cool. How did you get him on your track?
Well, actually, Stevie's a roommate of mine. He actually rents the room downstairs in my apartment. He stays in my downstairs apartment, so I just asked him to come up and play harmonica one day.
CJ is also a featured artist on the track, and he sounds a lot like Marvin Gaye. What's his deal? Does he get compared often to Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, he does get compared to Marvin Gaye a lot. He switches up his style, but I guess that's something he grew up loving, you know, and he you know, I guess he doesn't too much sound like him, he feels like him, which is even more spooky.
You've also worked with Joss Stone previously, and you have her on one of your tracks on this album. What was it like working with her? She's great.
Yeah, she's great. She's definitely a student of this music. It was easy, you know, I had to just find something that would fit her, and once I found it, she just nailed it.
A lot of the tracks on your album recall the Delphonics, particularly the song Oh Girl with the string section. Do you find that... Someone told me, a little birdie told me. Did they have a lot of inspiration with your recording on the album?
You know, like I said, they're like the soundtrack of my life. You know, growing up in my neighborhood, it was always either some stylistic, some Delphonics playing somewhere, and like one of my brothers sings like one of the stylistics on his off time, and Eddie Kendrick. So I sort of tried to play around with the idea of Old Girl, because you know, you listen to when Biggie did You've Been Robbed, you know, that's the Delphonics thing too. So I was like, you know, the world must be listening to them, so I just took a shot at it.
Amy Winehouse and Duffy and other artists like that are coming out a lot with this kind of vintage soul feel, and you're one of the few male artists that are breaking out with this kind of style. How do you feel about being one of the few?
I feel great about it. I think the more the merrier, you know. That's how I was back in the day. It just wasn't one group of guys doing it. It was a lot of people doing it, you know. So.
You've also done a lot of production work in the past. Do you plan on doing any more in the future?
Oh yes, production is definitely one of my main things that I love to do, and I'm always going to do production as long as somebody calls me.
How do you plan on celebrating the release of your new album?
Oh, I'm going to celebrate it big in New York. I'm just going to act like, you know, got a lot of good friends in New York, and I'm gonna eat a lot of good food and have a few drinks, you know, and it's warm out here, you know, walk the streets, and just, it's good to be back home in New York. Viewers, Kiwibox.com.
Yep.
Be on the lookout for this record. You want to have some fun, you want to have some drinks, you want to smoke to it, whatever you do. have a blast. It's full of different inspirations, different vibrations, and take it with you on the family trip. Wherever you go, it works on the beach. Go to the water, get there quick. And the album's called The Way I See It and comes out September 16th. Peace. What's up? This is Raphael Saadiq, and you're chilling right here with me, myself, and this beautiful young lady on Kiwibox.com. Am I supposed to say that? I've been doing too much.com. I'm like,